Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. This was a pretty interesting episode. This was a pretty decent episode. And here's here's the thing. I now understand why the four other episodes were so bad. Because they didn't do a nurse's ball. This was their substitution. And usually during nursing balls and stuff like that, nurses balls, they don't really have a lot of storyline going on. It's just mostly people singing and dancing and performing and stuff like that, which by popular demand, a lot of people really didn't like. So they substituted the nurses ball for the picnic, and in a lot of ways, it was pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. And I get that it's a 5 days a week episode, yearly round and everything. So there's a point where they don't really have a lot of storyline to tell, or they don't want to sit there and give us too much and then kind of scrambling to find some more stuff. But I feel like in cases like that, they should just pull a days. They should just go a week without any episodes, maybe play some old episodes, whatever they got to do. And just take a little bit of a hiatus. Come back, and people will be ready. What I don't like is filler episodes that are just waste of time. Um, but yeah, getting into this episode, Joss, oh Joss, it's amazing that this girl can piss me off and impress me in one breath. She starts up with Nina, which Nina's like, yo, listen, I'm just dropping off some stuff and, to, help out Olivia. And Joss just couldn't help but being the spoiled, entitled brat that I've come to know and can't stand. So she starts going in on her. Sonny comes in and is like, yo, what's going on? Like, your mom, taught you better manners than that. And of course, Joss is like, the only reason why I'm not smacking the hell out of her is because of what you try to do for Trina. So they get back into it for a little bit, and of course, Joss leaves. Joss is, I guess, walking by the boathouse or whatever. Ava, she's pretty much bleeding out at this point. So she stops and she sees Ava, and, she's like, let me try to hold the pressure. Let me try to get help. Dax comes in and he helps. And the reason why I'm giving Joss such credit, and it kind of reminds me a little bit back when I actually gained respect for Joss. Gained respect for Joss when she fought Nell. Because she wasn't a pushover. She wasn't this entitled brat that just had a mouth where you just wanted somebody to shut her up. Okay? She actually held her own against somebody who was older and probably a little bit stronger than her. So I gave her a hell of a lot of props. Of course, over a period of time, well, once again, she kept it cool, blood and everything like that. Most people would freak out. They would get dizzy, they would get queasy. But even though that she seemed like she had a little, this wasn't a situation that she wanted to be in. I felt like she handled it pretty well under the circumstances. So I give her a lot of props. I guess that's the thing about these characters. I look at Nina. Been rocking with me for a while. You all remember the cake party that I had. I couldn't wait for Nina to get hers. And of course, it disappointed me because she really didn't seem like she got the smoke that I wanted her to get. With that being said, there's times where I had to sit there and be like, yo, you're wrong. I had to sit there and look at Carlton like, yo, you need to act close to your age. So, once again, amazing characters. Sometimes we get some very lackluster episodes. Anyway, Dex, being a soldier, came through in handy as far as, tying up her wound and everything like that and telling Josh to put pressure on it to get her to the hospital. And, she's in critical condition. But Ava, the fan base of Ava is huge. The fan base of, I guess, Maureen West is huge. So I don't feel like she's going anywhere. But this is one of those things where it's like, I guess it reminds people that any one of these characters can get it at any point in time. So that happens. Now, the conversation with Valentine and Nina was just kind of catching up. But once again, what I appreciate about that scene is their friendship. It's Valentine wanting Nina to be happy, even if it's with Sunny, because he has done things that has tested her mental health. Okay, let's just be honest. He's tested her mental health. So to sit there and see the fact that he wants the best for her, I admire that. I don't know if I've actually ever gotten to that point in my life where I'm just like, I really want you to be happy. I never really wished death upon people, but still. Didn't really do anything except for catch up. Spencer just done. Okay? He's done. And Valentine and Finn are looking for Liz. And where was Valentine looking for? Anna. Okay. They're both looking for different women. Spencer comes in there, he's all drunk, and Finn is like, yo, you need to get some water, you need to sit down. And of course, Spencer starts going off. First, he goes off on Valentine. And then Valentine just looks at the situation and says, you know what, I don't have patience for this. Finn, you got him, I'm going. And of course, Spencer starts talking about Nicholas and how he failed him as a father and a disappointment, and he looked up to him and blah, 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 blah. But Finn is like, listen, and this is something that I've said at some point, is that Finn is like, listen, Nicholas is human. Parents aren't perfect, and you grow up, when you're young, you idolize them, you worship them, and everything like that, and you get to a point when you realize that they're gonna fail, they're gonna make mistakes, they're human. Now, I get where Finn's coming from, being a father, but Finn has not messed up close as Nicholas has. So Spencer was like, listen, I get where you're coming from, but yeah, you and my dad, we're not, y'all totally, as far as screwing up, y'all not on the same level. But I get what Finn was that they're trying to come from. Felicia and Mac are that they're talking about Cody and Dominique, and like how did she not know that she was pregnant, and the whole Shady Brook thing, and Leopold and all his crazy stuff. So they're just giving us a history lesson, which is good because there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about. Because again, I only started watching it in the year 2000. So, but for people who've been watching this, there's two people. I know one of them is Rob, and the other one is, I can't remember the other subscriber's name. But for the people who've been watching it for a long time, this is kind of just like, yeah, I already know this. So they're just going through a history lesson. Britt finally comes clean to Cody about her feelings and why she's afraid. And granted, she doesn't sit there and say Jason, which is actually a very, I don't want to sit there and say it's an interesting topic, but they haven't actually said Jason's name in such a long time that I'm wondering if they can even say the name Jason. I don't know. I mean, she didn't sit there and say who he was or anything like that, and it just makes me sit there and wonder, can they actually legally still use his name. Anna tries to get information on Victor by going to Sunny. And of course, Sunny doesn't really give him too much of anything except for the fact, well, that's not true. Sunny tells Anna about Spencer leaving the jail with Victor's help. But, unfortunately, he couldn't get Spencer to sit there and turn on him, which again, I'm happy about. Not so much about Victor, just about, the whole snitching thing. There was a point where Sunny's there talking proudly about Spencer and his loyalty and everything like that, and Anna's like, you're such a good role model to him. And I'm like, I wouldn't sit there and say that Sunny is a good role model. And this is coming from a person who likes Sunny, but I'm like, the word role model and Sunny should not even be in the same sentence. Let's just be honest. Shouldn't be. Just really shouldn't be. I mean, I guess if you really look at it, who could actually be a good role model? I guess there's some people, but Sunny, as much as I love Sunny, no, he's, no, just. Liz is losing time talking to Nicholas. Upset at Finn about going behind her back, saying that, she felt like she was fine, that she wouldn't have checked out of Shady Brook. But now she's losing time, and now she's freaking out, and I'm like, yeah, maybe checking out of Shady Brook was not exactly the, best course for you, Liz. Maybe, maybe you shouldn't have did that. So she got a big cut on her head or a scrape on her head or whatever. Nicholas is talking about. Well, Nicholas is not there blaming Ava, which I'm just like, because he's all like, "Oh, we're over," Ava did something. She betrayed me. Pretty much blaming Ava for Spencer finding out about Nicholas going behind Spencer's back and hooking up with Esme. But somehow, it's Ava's fault. So he's all upset. But at some point of this story, everyone kind of comes together, and Nicholas is like, "Oh, I gotta go see my wife." Your wife? You mean the woman that you practically berated? Made it seem like it was her fault for Spencer practically kicking you to the curb, throwing her dead daughter in her face. That wife? Oh, Nicholas. He's something else. He really is something else. But you know what he does do? Gives me great content, because at least I can sit there and talk about just how much of an awful person he is at times. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. There's been times when Nicholas has been selfless, heroic, good dad, a good brother, a good brother, and sometimes a good son. This is just not one of those cases. That's the only thing. This is not one of those cases. And it's always interesting when I do these reviews and I sit there and talk about characters, because like 1 minute just piss me off. And then the next, 1 second. And then the next, she can impress me. There are rare times when she impresses me, but when she does, they're good. Let's just double check my notes, see if I didn't forget anything. They had so many damn people in this episode. It was like, oh, and Olivia was there too. I mean, she didn't really do anything. She didn't contribute to anything. She was just there to be there. But that's cool, I guess. I feel like that's about it. I feel like the minute that Joss and Dex start working together, it's pretty much the end of Cam and Joss. Okay, it's pretty much the end of Cam and Joss. That's just how I see it. And then just put Dax in there for just taking out Sunny. I feel like that's going to be a thing, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. And hopefully they don't sit there and do a Brooklyn and Chase, because I don't know what the hell they thought they were doing by going this back and forth route, but it wound up just working out for, well, damn well no one. I don't think anyone was actually rooting after a while. I think the sad thing is I think even the people that wanted Brooklyn and Chase to be together, they ran out of patience. They ran out of patience. This I think this started like what last year, or was it the year before? I forgot. I think it might have been the year before that. But like what 2.5 years, give or take. We're still no closer to them. I think now they actually want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and now it's just like, does anyone care? So hopefully they actually did learn from their mistakes and they will not be sneaky repeating it. Um, I don't know. I have a good feeling about the episodes moving forward. I think now that we got through all the fillers and crappy episodes, maybe the ratings kind of dipped down enough where they were like, hey, we need to step it up. I guess time will tell. Now, because there's a lot of people, I also felt like I forgot like maybe one or two people. But I feel like I kind of got the most pertinent information. Like I always sit there and say all my reviews. But if I forgot someone, please let me know in the comment section. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. I want to thank everyone for the coming on live last Sunday. I had a lot of fun. I want to sit there and try to do another one this week. I just have to kind of plan it out, and I'll try to let people know at least like 2 hours ahead of time. You know. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see everyone in the next video.